CNY Central. This is CBS 5 News at 11 with Michael Penny.
Good evening. You're watching the only local newscast to bring you the biggest stories of the night and the first alert forecast right off the top. Here's Chief Meteorologist Wayne Mahar with his eyes peeled on the weekend.
You're right. We're looking right at the weekend right now, and it is looking pretty good for the most part. We'll be back with a full forecast in a few minutes.
Thank you, Wayne. Just after 11 now. These are the top 5 stories on CBS 5 News. Breaking news right now. An 18-year-old man has died after he was shot in a drive-by shooting in Syracuse. Police say the victim was standing near the Green Ale Market on the city's east side when he was shot. The shooting happened at about 6:30 near the intersection of East Fayette and Crowley Streets. The man died earlier this evening. We'll hear from city police just ahead. New at 11 on Easter weekend, parishioners of the closed St. Mary's Church in Jamesville ramp up their fight to reopen the church. St. Mary's was closed in 2007 by the Syracuse Diocese as part of a reconfiguration of parishes. Now the rectory is being put up for auction. CBS 5's Caitlin Nuclo tells us what the parishioners are going to do now, just ahead. News Since 6, Diamond Pet Foods is recalling its Diamond Naturals lamb meal and rice dry dog food because it might be contaminated with salmonella. There are no illnesses reported and no other Diamond products are affected by this. There was concern pets and people could become infected with salmonella. Anyone whose dog is on this food is warned to look out for decreased appetite, a fever, and abdominal pain. New video. This is the scene of the Navy fighter jet crash in Virginia Beach after the flames were put out. Tonight, the mayor in that town says he's praying emergency crews sifting through the complex don't find any more victims. The jet crashed after a catastrophic mechanical malfunction. 7 people, including the student pilot, were injured. Looking ahead, New York Jets quarterback Tim Tebow will address 20,000 people on Easter Sunday in Texas. Tebow reached out to the Celebration Church last month about speaking there. Those attending the non-denominational service will sit on lawn chairs and blankets. Tebow is known for his strong Christian beliefs and often addresses religious congregations. New information now on breaking news in Syracuse. Police believe there are several witnesses, and they're hoping those people will come forward after a drive-by shooting that killed an 18-year-old. This happened just after dinner time outside the Green Ale Market on the east side. So far, police have not revealed the man's name, and they're not saying how many times he was hit. The crime drew a large police presence to the intersection of East Fayette and Crowley Streets.
We believe there probably are witnesses out there, either people in their homes around here or people that were in the street that may have witnessed this shooting. We're appealing to those people to come forward with information.
Police do not have any suspect information to reveal right now, and they have not put out any description on the person who pulled the trigger. Sundown tonight marked the first day of the Jewish holiday Passover, celebrated to remember the exodus of Jewish people from their slavery in Egypt. Jews in Jerusalem and around the world were busy doing last-minute shopping to prepare for the special diet that follows the Passover, avoiding all food and drink with yeast. Passover lasts 1 week. It ends next Saturday. For Christians around the world, this is Good Friday, an observance of the day Jesus Christ was crucified. Many Christians travel to Jerusalem to walk the Stations of the Cross. The walk starts and ends at the Church of the Holy Sepulchre in Jerusalem, believed to be the site of Christ's crucifixion, burial, and resurrection. And Pope Benedict led the annual Good Friday candlelit procession at the Vatican. Crowds of Christians gathered in the ancient arena holding candles and prayer books. The Pope was carrying the cross, and he gave a speech at the ceremony. An Italian couple was chosen to compose the reflections that are read during the procession. The Pope will preside over Easter Mass in St. Peter's Square on Easter morning. This is one of the holiest weekends of the year for Catholics, and those fighting to reopen St. Mary's Church in Jamesville will take new steps to raise money to fight that battle legally. CBS 5's Caitlin Nuclo reports.
Spring flowers bloom outside St. Mary's Church in Jamesville, just in time for Easter. But as Christians, the birth of St. Mary's. Reporting from Jamesville tonight, I'm Caitlin Nuclo.
Tonight, funeral arrangements have been set for an Ithaca Marine who died of the injuries he suffered overseas earlier this year. Calling hours for Corporal Christopher Bordoni are next Wednesday, the 11th, from 2 to 7 at the Immaculate Conception Church in Ithaca. The funeral is the next day at the same church. If you'd like to make a donation to his family, we have that information posted right now at cnycentral.com. Police are now releasing a surveillance video hoping to catch the thieves who broke into the Jewelry on James jewelry store in DeWitt last month. The smash and grab took less than 2 minutes. Owner Tom Marini says the thieves made off with about $5 grand worth of jewelry. He says in 27 years, he has never had anything like this happen at his store.
I want them brought to justice. I want them to stop. What they took from me means nothing. The merchandise that they stole is gone. I have no problem with that. I don't want them to victimize anybody else.
So the owner is now offering a $1,000 reward for information that leads to an arrest. Anyone with information is asked to call police in DeWitt. Right now, only 1 adult male and 1 puppy are still alive of the 8 malnourished dogs rescued from a Whitesboro Street home in Utica this week. 22-year-old Umar Aziz pleaded not guilty just yesterday to 8 charges of animal cruelty and 14 related charges. The 2 surviving dogs remain under a veterinarian's care, but there is fear the youngest of the 2 may not survive. Syracuse is known for being an environmentally friendly city, and a downtown project upholds that image. Jim Kenyon tells us what's going on here on Salina Street coming up. Next, the top story from across the country, unaccounted for. Some of the people who live in the complex where a military jet crashed are still missing. The latest from Virginia Beach next. And the Late Show with
From CNY Central, this is CBS 5 News at 11 with Michael Benny.
Good evening, I'm Caitlin Nuclo in for Michael Benny. Tonight you're watching the only local newscast to give you the top 5 stories in the forecast. Right off the top, here's meteorologist Mike Brookins.
Caitlin, hopefully you got outdoors today and enjoyed that 81-degree high temperature. Still mild. We're close to the 70-degree mark and dry locally. We do have on live triple Doppler some showers over far western New York Sunday in the 7-day.
Mike, thank you. At 11 o'clock, these are your top 5 stories on CBS 5 News.
It was really hard to watch in a lot of cases. There were a lot of really personal things that resonated for me.
Well, new at 11 tonight, the highly controversial documentary Bully premiered tonight at the Manlius Arts Cinema. The film focuses on the stories of 5 families and kids all affected by bullying. The movie makers battled through a rating controversy before it ended up being released as PG-13. The director hopes the film will inspire change. CBS 5's Chris McGrath has what some of you think about tonight's premiere coming up. Well, today marks the 13th anniversary of the Columbine High School shooting. 12 students and a teacher were killed on this day back in 1999 when 2 students opened fire at Columbine High School near Denver, Colorado. Now a student who survived the shooting plans to make the first ever documentary by someone who was there. New tonight, the 12th Secret Service employee has been implicated in a prostitution scandal that's rocked Washington. A White House office official says President Barack Obama has now been briefed on the investigation. 3 agents reportedly resigned today. In all, 6 Secret Service employees have left the agency since the alleged events at a Colombian hotel late last week. An update now on a crash involving a 10-year-old. Syracuse police say the boy was at fault for the crash that sent him to the hospital yesterday. He was hit by an SUV, which police say had the right of way. The crash happened on the corner of Mary and Lodi Streets in the city. Officers say the boy skated out into the road near Franklin Magnet School. No tickets were issued in this crash. New since 6 o'clock, the Syracuse Crunch loses their first game of the playoffs in the War Memorial tonight in front of a packed crowd, falling 3-2 against the St. John Ice Caps. This was Game 1 in a best-of-5 series. The 2 teams face off again tomorrow in Syracuse at 7 p.m. The Crunch hasn't been to the playoffs since 2008. John Evanson breaks down the game ahead in sports. Well, it's a movie that aims to change our minds. After clearing a few hurdles, Bully made its Central New York debut tonight, giving parents and kids a gut-wrenching look at a growing troubling problem in our schools. CBS 5's Chris McGrath reports.
They punch me, strangle me, take things from me, sit on me.
Hitting the big screen in hopes of igniting serious change. Reporting in Manlius, I'm Chris McGrath.
Well, if you are looking to see the movie, you still have a few more chances. Bully will be playing at the Manlius Arts Cinema through Thursday. There are 3 showings each on Saturday and Sunday. For more information on showtimes, log on to our website, cnycentral.com. New tonight, the Baldwinsville Fire Department investigating the cause of a brush fire. It happened about 6:30 this evening off of East Oneida Street near the CSX railroad line. It took fire crews about an hour and a half to get it under control. Fire officials tell us it was a challenge getting to the fire because it was far off of the road in a wooded area. They had to use ATVs to bring firefighters back and forth from the blaze. Crews also dealing with some warm temperatures today. At least 8 area fire departments responded. Well, to Syracuse now, where a suspicious death is now being ruled a homicide. The body of 27-year-old Carnell Marshall was found in a parking lot behind the Mavis Tire store on South Salina Street last weekend. Right now, the exact cause of the death still being investigated. Syracuse police are asking anyone with information who may have seen a fight in that area last weekend to call them. Well, right now, an Oswego police officer is under investigation. The city mayor tells us in a short statement today that it's a personnel matter involving a member of the department. He did not identify that officer, but did say officials are not looking into a criminal matter. New tonight, after gas prices topped more than $4 a gallon this month, the pain at the pump is finally starting to fall a bit. Yet to notice a big change here in central New York, though. The average price for a gallon of gasoline in Syracuse is still $4.07, only 2 cents down from the recent high. Experts believe prices could fall another nickel next week, which could lower prices here in our area. Well, the number of measles cases in the U.S. has reached an all-time high, 222 cases just in this past year. This is more than triple the average number of cases in the U.S. The Center for Disease Control has tracked 90% of the cases to areas with low immunization rates. Doctors say this increase is a reminder to parents of how important childhood vaccinations are.
Vaccines and the diseases prevented by vaccines are the #1 public health achievement of the 20th century, and now in this new century we have to remember that.
Of more than 200 outbreaks in the U.S. in the last year, 26 of them were here in New York State. Doctors say that measles is 100% preventable if properly vaccinated. Coming up on CBS 5 News at 11, a popular YMCA in Fayetteville set to expand. Jim Kenyon shows us what's in store coming up. And next, the top story from across the country tonight. The man accused of killing Trayvon Martin speaks out for the first time in a Florida courtroom. What he has to say to the teen's family up next.